Dharma Jimden Den the Shin Shawan Dashan Ba Yang Zobe Sangha Riba Dan Shasun Dem Devari Shaban Jiden Jamba Jivun Jiva Kanoju Lana Meba Lam Minanje Demba Sanje Jimden Bejawa Shaja Tubana Satin No Chadu Jazuch Dharma Jimden Den the Shin Shawan Dashan Ba Yang Zobe Sangha Riba Dan Shasun Dem Devari Shaban Jiden Jamba Jivun Jiva Kanoju Lana Meba Hada Minanje Demba Sanje Jimden Bejawa Shaja Tubana Satin No Chadu Jazuch Dharma Jimden Den the Shin Shawan Dashan Ba Yang Zobe Sanje Riba Dan Shasun Dem Devari Jiden Jamba Jivun Jiva Kanoju Lana Meba Hada Minanje Demba Sanje Jimden Bejawa Shaja Tubana Satin No Chadu Jazuch Kanze Ganyan Zowa Jadongze Sajen Dena Gomba Demba Mane Jiden Dena Choje Zuwa Teze Kewa Jama Sahaze Namda Gunga Chodo Susan Waji Shi Jazu Serje Nambu Chaban Jiden Sumna Mame Gombo Chonye Jama Sahaze Senjon Demba Chimen Dawe Shi Sendon Dawa Jama Sahaze Dire Jala Seba Suma Nyame Jenjen Jama Sahaze Gombo Tuji Chedemba Tonji Chembe Demba Bu Sonam Yeden Jazu Dishin Shama Sahaze Mo Taben De Sha Chawa Jenge Vengen Sonde Chedo Tendama Shojo Wa Shinjur Jama Sahaze Lo Chene Tura Maya Laba Tala Rabdo Ne Shinga Tamba Yeden Gendu Maya Sahaze Diwa Chen Misha Jenge Wa Kason Soba Rangi Sine Yonzo Tene Sanje Demba Kamara Rima Medo Jama Sebo Churut Melon Loda Jenda Dishu Chanum De Drita Sonam Di Tamji Shivanyo Goban Tumne Junjan Dadu Gada Nada Chira Lajube Sibe Sonan Joanjo Varishu
To the teacher, the blessed one, the one gone beyond, the foe destroyer, the completely perfected, fully awakened being, perfect in knowledge and in good conduct, Sugata, knower of the world, supreme guide of beings to be tamed, teacher of gods and humans, to you the completely and fully awakened one, the blessed one, the glorious conqueror, the subduer from the Shakya clan, I prostrate, make offerings, and go for refuge. To the teacher, the blessed one, the one gone beyond, the foe destroyer, the completely perfected, fully awakened being, perfect in knowledge and in good conduct, Sugata, knower of the world, supreme guide of beings to be tamed, teacher of gods and humans, to you the completely and fully awakened one, the blessed one, the glorious conqueror, the subduer from the Shakya clan, I prostrate, make offerings, and go for refuge. To the teacher, the blessed one, the one gone beyond, the foe destroyer, the completely perfected, fully awakened being, perfect in knowledge and in good conduct, Sugata, knower of the world, supreme guide of beings to be tamed, teacher of gods and humans, to you the completely and fully awakened one, the blessed one, the glorious conqueror, the subduer from the Shakya clan, I prostrate, make offerings, and go for refuge. When, O supreme among humans, you were born on this earth, you paced out 7 strides and said, I am supreme in this world. To you who were wise then, I prostrate. With pure bodies, formed supremely pure, wisdom motion like a golden mountain, fame that blazes in the 3 worlds, winner of the best, to you I prostrate. With the supreme signs, face like spotless moon, color like gold, to you I prostrate. You are immaculate, the 3 worlds are not. Incomparably wise one, to you I prostrate. The Savior, having great compassion, the teacher, having all understanding, the field of merit with qualities of a vast ocean, to you the one gone to thusness I prostrate. The purity which makes one free from attachment, the virtue which frees one from the lower realms, the one path, the sublime, pure reality. To that Dharma which pacifies I prostrate. Those who are liberated and also show the path to liberation, the holy field qualified with realizations, who are devoted to the moral precepts. To you the sublime community intending virtue I prostrate. Do not commit any non-virtuous actions. Perform only perfect virtuous actions. Subdue your mind thoroughly. This is the teaching of the Buddha. A star, mirage, a flame of a lamp, an illusion, a drop of dew, or a bubble, a dream, a flash of lightning, a cloud. See conditioned things as such. Through these merits may sentient beings attain the rank of all-seeing, subdue the foe of faults, and be delivered from the ocean of suffering, of aging, sickness, and death.
Sangha Shantazo Jama Chanju Pato Tani Jesus Nagi Jesu Jebe Sonam Jen Jola Peche Sangha Tribush Sangha Shantazo Jama Chanju Pato Tani Jesus Nagi Jesu Jebe Sonam Jen Jola Peche Sangha Tribush Sangha Shantazo Jama Chanju Pato Tani Jesus Nagi Jesu Jebe Sonam Jen Jola Peche Sangha Tribush Sangha Shantazo Jama Chanju Pato Tani Jesus I go
for refuge in telling light to the Buddha, the Dharma, and the Sangha. Through the merit I created by practicing giving and the other perfections, may I quickly attain the state of Buddhahood for the benefit of all sentient beings. I go for refuge in telling light to the Buddha, the Dharma, and the Sangha. Through the merit I created by practicing giving and the other perfections, may I quickly attain the state of Buddha for the benefit of all sentient beings. I go for refuge until I am enlightened to the Buddha, the Dharma, and the Sangha. Through the merit I created by practicing giving and the other perfections, may I quickly attain the state of Buddhahood for the benefit of all sentient beings.
Tamje Kembala Chan Zalon de Sanje Jumden and the Shenshaban Dachuma Yama Sanje Riba Shazon Deva Devrech when Jiden Jama Juban de Bakama Juvana Nama Tata Menanje Dama Sanje Jumden de Suman Dishishabatin Sonam Taki Jutama Gevezawa Nama Chumis of Shiva of the Jip Sonam Jetera Nam Jishi Beja Sambona Jetuba Tenam Jemedo Jip Juyaramatu Matona Medimba Meva Teve Meva Numbergo Sheriff City Menova Tomam Zeva Meva Simja Tamje Jetama Sanjusamba Namjaya Pavia Kazana Jeju Yangan de Botrajo and Roman Jeteva Yishapatom Boba Sanje Major Sonamba Yanyan Bokujeta Chomiju Kutumba Meva Devaka de Mago Suda Genu Mago Sumeva the Madeva Dumela number to Pumba number two Kamanda Medeva Jeja Namanda Devan Shilja Yozo to one number two Sibale to a show and give a Yishin Yozo the Monteva Machumba Tata Shume Sanje Jumden, the Jishela Neba, Yamana de Vadamina, Yanda when you get on them. Simja Tamdeva Siva Sala Shuba there and the Danda Sanje Jumden, which even the Yanda Vandamazo, Tabation of Tomageva Padaja. Tamara gave a chance of centuries of Mandeva, Yonzo Zoba, Yonzo Taba, Yonzo Chawa Yanda, but over Neme, but which ever may be whatever. They don't want to tell you about Kevin, the social and the river, Jumden, the Javasun. Chen de Walla level to Maneva Zobe Shanju and Rovajo Medium Major de Walla Dema. Dema Yuba Java, Tewaji, then never shoot or river shoot. Tambora Shuba, Tumba Shuba, Temaja, Juba, Charge of Sonan Jibeji, Union of Joan Jibenda Zoju, Kundoan Jibenda Zoju, Chembo Kangia, the general Wajanga, one member, Jimmy, member, one member. Tade de Medinji Medu when you just in the month of Yaman. Tamba de la Charge. Yeah, so I'm going to read Nagarjuna's letter to a friend. In Sanskrit, Surilekha is a Sanskrit. Tibetan and Shibetini. Yeah, I think that's a letter to a friend. Homage to the gentle in the glorious youth Mañjugosha. Now the Nagarjuna's so this letter is for his friend. Now, our friend or our friends, we're not sure. So it says that listen now to these few lines of the noble song that I have composed. listen now to these few lines of noble song that I have composed. For those with many virtues, fit for good. So Nagarjuna is saying to his friend that, listen to this noble song that I have composed, and I know you are well learned, well educated, and you are fit for the path to enlightenment. So those with many virtues, you have many knowledge, and fit for good. So give fit for good means you are fit to listen to this teaching, or you are fit for attaining enlightenment. So therefore, please listen this noble song that I have composed. To help them yearn for, now saying that what is the reason that makes you fit? To help them yearn for merit springing from sacred words of he who's gone to bliss. So this noble song is to help them, the people who has many virtues, fit for good. Sonam Dunlets. So I think the merit he is referring to help the yearn for merit. Sonams, the merit is referring to, generally, when we say the merit, sometimes we say in Tibetan, Tsok. Tsok is the collections, virtues deed.
Spelled T-S-O-K, Tsok? Like,
yeah.
Okay.
Tsok. Tsok means usually many things together, combined, collections. Mm-hmm. So now here the collections is means for the enlightened being, for the Buddha, there's a two, like physical form and the mental state. So the physical form of the Buddha and the mental state of the Buddha, to anything that the cosmic condition to produce or to generate either physical form of the Buddha or the state of mind, omniscient. So that's called collections. Who yearn for merit springing from the sacred word. So you are seeking, or you are trying to cultivate that cosmic condition for the Buddha's form body and Buddha's omniscient, So, which is taught by the he who gone to bliss. So Devarashevas. So gone to bliss. So the gone to bliss, sometimes we say Devarasheva. In Sanskrit, Sugata, right? Sanskrit is Sugata, gone to bliss. So gone to bliss means the bliss is the perfect state of, satisfactions of the joy. One who gone means is non-return, never returning back, and perfectly settled into that perfect joy. So therefore, Buddha is, what we here is referring is gone to bliss. So the listeners are seeking or accumulating the cosmic condition for the Buddha's form body and the Buddha's omniscient. So therefore, you should listen this. Nagarjuna says that I have composed these lines. And then says, now he is saying that you may think that my lines are, maybe there's some the grammar error or the words kind of not perfect, but you have to listen this because this is our have in the compose. This will explain exactly what are the merits. So the wise will always honor and bow down to the Buddha statue, though they are made of wood. So you don't really, see the difference. And statue of the Buddha, either it is made out of wood or clay or gold or silver, because it is the image of the Buddha. Therefore, you pay homage. You respect that. Similarly, if my writing is not that great and not kind of soothing, but you have to listen. So I'm going to explain exactly the merit that accumulates, how that kind of leads you to the enlightenment. So, the wise will always honor and bow down to the Buddha statues, though they are made of wood. So too, although this line of mine be poor, do not feel scorn. Right? So they teach the holy way. Although my writing is poor, but this teaches the path of enlightenment. So for sure, we are not going to scorn that. It's Nagarjuna's word. So that's so this means Nagarjuna show his humbleness and compassion to to guide or to lead the sentient beings to the enlightenment. Humble and compassionate. He did not say, I know everything, you have to listen to me, right? So while you have surely learned and understood the mighty Buddha's many lovely words, so Nagarjuna is saying to his friends that you may have learned, you have heard many teachings. Is it not so that something made of chalk, right? By moonlight, lit shines gleaming, whiter still. So although you are very learned, you may be masters, you may be very highly educated, just by listening this can be useful. Like when there's a white kind of house, in a white house, when this moon, casts its light on the house, it becomes brighter. Mm-hmm. So although you have very, very well educated, well learned, but still you listen, there's always benefit. Now, Nagarjuna saying the first what he want to teach, what he want to, say is 6 things. There are the Buddha have explained, and all their virtues you must keep in mind. So then 6 things are the Buddha, the Dharma, the Sangha, and then what's that? Bounteous act, practice of generosity, and the moral laws, and God, each one recall. So 16 Buddha, Dharma, and Sangha, and the practice of generosities, right? And the moral disciplines, and deities, recalling your own favorite deities. Whatever you have choose. You choose Avalokiteshvara, you choose Mañjugosha, you can choose Dharma. So the constantly recalling, constantly remembering these 6 things. So here, English translations they translate as God. So the Buddha, Dharma, and Sanghas. Buddha, Dharma, Sangha. Buddha is the person who is enlightened. Sanghas, who is already on the path. Noble Sanghas, not just a monk. Is Sangha here is noble beings who have directly realized the emptiness. So who are already on the path towards the liberation and enlightenment. And then this Sangha and the Dharma. Dharma is the cessation of afflictive emotion, or the cessation of the imputation of afflictive emotion. And then the so generosities, jibba means when you are accumulating that kind of merit, through paying homage to the Buddha, Dharma, and the Sangha, and you are, all the merits, always dedicated for the all sentient beings. Whatever you have cultivating, merits, the wisdom, the knowledge, you're always dedicated to the sentient beings. So generosity and moral ethics. And then all these are constantly remember and and you have to recall your own deities to remind you, or to to get strength to practice the Buddha Dharma from your own deities. And also, if you have done some mistake, and you can confess to your own deities. So the recalling the deities and recalling Buddha Dharma and Sangha is 2 different things. The deity is as like witness and protectors, give you strength and blessing. So continues to go on the path. So this, yes?
Yes, I'm a little confused about what to understand by the deity. They are like compared to the gods in the Hinduism. They are like individuals, that they are there as individual persons or entities, or is more a representation of the qualities of the Buddha, or you know what I'm trying to say?
Yeah, I understand. Yeah, the deities. There are many. Some deities are, something that they have their own physical form. Like deities in the god realms, they're already born in that form. And then there's another deities that you can only, have the vision of the deity through certain quality of the concentrations. And then there's Buddha that appears in a different form. So that is the one of deity, right? So deity is just, you cannot see with this ordinary eye. You cannot see that with the ordinary mind, but you develop some kind of concentrations, the high concentration, meditations, and that conditioning for you to have a vision of the certain deity, which is actually Buddhas came to you, with relate kind of like in the form of any kind of deities, female form, or male form, or the wrathful form, or the form of the powers. That depends. Sometimes it says, depending on your physical condition, your mental conditions, you can have a vision of certain deities. I think I mentioned one time, during the Lama Tsongkhapa and his disciple. So Lama Tsongkhapa, when he meditated, he had a vision of Mañjugosha. Mañjugosha that is very formal and not talking too much, not talkative, and very skinny. And then one of his disciples had a vision of Mañjugosha and not that skinny and very talkative. So it's depending on your physical condition, and you can have certain vision of the deities. That deity has no mother, no father, no place as born. It just happened to be existing. Your faith and your concentrations project that kind of the deities.
So they are like a projection of our mind.
Yes. So there's
okay.
And then there are some deities are already, they have their own family, they're born, right? And some are very wrathful, some are peaceful, many things. And then when you invoke, through the ritual, we invoke them, and they will come to you. And then you kind of ask the blessing or the protections. So deity is the many, So I'm not sure about the exact translation in English, the deities. In the general, we say in the Tibetan, Ha. So Ha has a many. So the Ha, which is born in Godram, Ha is Yidam Jilha. And Yidam means meditations. The meditation projected the deities. Right. So then that part of the meditation projections, you can appear as Mañjugosha, you can appear as Dharma, you may appear as the form of our Lugadishas, many things. So that's called Yidam. And then there's another one is Ringagalas. Ringagala means through tantric kind of sadhana, through tantric sadhana, and certain deities appears to you. Why? Is because the Buddha's dedication, Buddha Shakyamuni, he has, 100 lives accumulating the merits. Each merit is dedicated for the sentient beings. Like Nagarjuna's dedication said, may I be useful to the sentient beings, whatever they want, like fire, wind, soil, medicinal tree, whatever so may I be part of that. So Buddha's dedication is that, always dedicated totally. There's nothing holding back, And depending on the sentient beings, their karma, their emotional state, their merit, and certain deities appears. So Buddha's dedication and your merit, your faith, together. Like even in the ordinary state, we said, if you are born as a human being, you have certain things to see. And if you're born in some another form, you can. So there's your own portion of
what you can smell, what you can see. So the potential changes and the vision change. Right. So that kind of, now from the as a follower of the Mayan practitioners, and there's a many empowerment, the deity's empowerment. We receive empowerment. We go through the sadhana practice and try to project the kind of deities. And then when you reach certain state of the how's the strength of the concentrations, you can have a vision of the deities. So even though you have no vision at all, but you know there's Mañjugosha, you know there's the Dharma, you know there's our Vichara. So you can, conceptually, through imaginations, and you invite the certain, deities in a different form, and then you say, be my witness, be my guest all the time. If I'm doing right, please help me, the strength in my practice. If I'm not doing right, please remind me. So as a deity, as a witness, you have to recall many times. Like you remember Buddha, Dharma, and Sangha, you also remember those each of the deities. Yeah, sometimes some practitioners, they always kind of constantly what they recall is their guru. They say, oh, I'm doing this practice, or I'm reciting this, I'm going this way. Always remember, Guru bless me. So you can also imagine the Guru, you can also imagine our Vichara, Dharma, Mañjugosha, or you can just imagine Buddha Shakyamuni. So it's your deity. If you imagine a Buddha Shakyamuni, so is from the 6 things, if you choose the Buddha Shakyamuni is your deity. So you can always imagine him when you're doing meditations, you're doing prostrations, recitation, meditation. Always imagine the Buddha. So that's the to recall, the gods here, the God, each one recall. So some people, Guru Yoga is the main practice. So for them, it's always their Guru. Like Milarepas, and he always imagined the marble was his Guru. Yeah, so 6 things that there are the Buddha have explained, and all their virtues you must keep in mind, the Buddha, Dharma, and Sangha, and the generosities, active generosities, and the moral laws, moral ethics, and the gods, the plurals. So you can choose Shakyamuni, or Avalokiteshvara, or Dharma. Each one you recall. Now, number 5 is saying that now as a layperson, and one day practice, one day vows. One day vows is here. With body, speech, mind, always rely on wholesome deeds. 10-fold virtues path. And what are the 10-fold virtues path? Oh yeah, 10-fold virtues path, and plus avoiding the liquor at all costs. liquor is that includes beer and everything, right?
We probably anything alcoholic, yeah.
Alcohol, yeah, all the alcohols.
And it literally means alcohol, or is it like symbolic of something specific?
For sure, it's not about water. So, Nagarjuna won't say don't drink water.
Yeah.
Or you won't say no, don't drink chai. So liquor is alcohol at all costs. Thus find true joy to lead the life of virtuous deed. So this is generally, this is the generally, and as a follower of the Buddhas, with body, speech, mind, always rely on wholesome deeds, and then that includes tenfold virtuous path. So when you say the tenfold virtuous path, why you do not say body, speech, and mind always rely on wholesome deed? Because tenfold that includes everything. So tenfold may not include everything. Like tenfold, like not killing, not lying, and what's that? Not sexual misconduct, and the speech, there are four, right? Not killing, sexual misconduct, stealing, physical from the body, and from the speech, lying, and the divisive word, divisive or divisive words, Dharma, Dharma, and harsh words, and gossiping, nonsense talk, the four. And yigile, napsim means craving, right? Nersim means harmful thought. Lota means wrong views. So tenfold path. So that's the tenfold. But when you practice the tenfold, still there, for example, in the practice with generosity, and if you do the generosity, or if you protect the life of others, animals, human beings, or poor peoples, whoever you try to protect them, and then there it's the act of that protecting people or the animal or anything can be virtue, but is motivated by your own interest. So that is not included in 10 virtue. It is 10 virtue, but there is something, need to be fixed. So that's why with body, speech, mind, always rely on wholesome deed and the tenfold virtues path. And then, avoiding the liquor at all costs, never drink. Do not drink at all. So sometimes it's very funny because when Buddha says, whoever drinks even the drops of the wine, and Buddha says, he is not my disciple. So, see, sometimes the Tibetan tradition, because we are, Dharma in Tibetan is very much, so integrated with Tantra. So we do the salt offering and the wine offering to the deities. So there's the drop of we take it. You know, I don't know. That's if if you just kind of follow the Buddha's as he's as he commanded, then you're always violating. So yeah, avoiding liquor at all costs, thus find true joy to lead a life of virtuous deed. True joy to lead a life. So I think this joy is intimate. When I say Chanam Ledo, Tishin Gawaii, Solan Moba Gebatu. The joy, what is that joy? Not killing. What is the joy by not lying? So some kind of satisfaction that you follow and you rejoice yourself. So that may be here what it means true joy to lead a life of virtuous deeds. So there's no any regret in what you have, did something negative things. So not regretting, I think constant regret, a guilt feeling is the cause of unhappy. Unhappy is the cause of all the negative emotions. Right? Dissatisfaction, regretfulness, guilt feeling, these constantly generates negative emotions. So you have to find a way to be happy and not regret, not guilt feeling every day. So that anger is always coming from the kind of unpleasant state of mind. So now say this is number 6 is talking about. So how do you practice the generosities? So then it says about the positions. Positions, how's that? Ephemeral, is it? How to
I
pronounce
don't
that?
know what ephemeral means. I know it means kind of like change.
Things are not stable, right? Ephemeral and essenceless. Your means it's constantly changing. And it's not reliable.
Lasting for a very short time.
Lasting for a very short time. The positions, pleasure from the, maybe you can say the pleasure from the positions are ephemeral. Is very short time and not reliable. And therefore, it says essenceless. No essence. Essenceless means there is no essence in greed for the positions. Right. Know this, know this and give them generously to monks. Oh, so now I have to stay here. Please bring everything to me. So it's kind of talking about the needy peoples, the monks and Brahmins, and to the poor, like sick or poor, and to your friends. So we are all subject to give to friends. Beyond there is no greater friends than the gift. So giving advice, giving protections, giving substance, giving anything that needed is the best gift, best friend than the gift. So number 7. So this is talking about how do you really practice the generosity? How do you how's that? Practice generosity? I mean, in what kind of mind, that mental state, or how do you train your mind to practice generosity? And since this is the possessions, the pleasure from the possessions are ephemeral, or it's not reliable, it's not stable, it constantly, changing, and it lasts very short time. So therefore, the too much, obsessions, or the obsession of the possessions are essenceless. And then does that mean that from the possessions there's nothing we can help us to the greater condition? And then yes, you can use this to give to the one who need it, the poor and friends, and that brings more friends, more greater friend than the gift. There's no. So it is the giving to one who need is the best gift and best the giving, the mind which is giving, one mind that is letting it go, is the best gift, best friend for you. Why? It's mind that let it go, and that benefits, when you let it go, that benefits the others. That is the best friend to you. And then you have to say, what is the opposite of that? Clinged, or kind of, attached. So that is it is the origin of all negative emotions. It is the enemy to your mind. The mind that constantly causes discomfort and unpleasant and dissatisfactions. So maybe that's why the state of mind, letting it go, is the best friend. Sometimes one of his owners, and jokingly says, some people are so, greed, even they don't want to let the breed go out. So if I let it go, do they come back? So who will use it? So that kind of keep holding, because everything is changing, moving forward. If you try to hold back, you are against the nature of the impermanence. So that's the one thing. And then when you violate that kind of the disciplines, keep your vows unbroken, undegraded, uncorrupted, and quite free from stains. Unbroken means the violate is a broken, not violate. Even there is you are violate, and suddenly, right away, you can, repair it. You can do the confessions, purifications, repair it. And uncorrupted means don't indulge yourself in that negative thinking, anger, attachment, jealousies, these are things. These are the corrupted conditions that lead you to do something negative things. So unbroken, so do not violate. Even there's a violate, right away you repair it, and always subdue your mind. mabas, and then quite free from free of stains. That's not easy to do that. The stain means even the habit. You have to address the habit of the negative thinking. So, which means you have the understanding of the emptiness. So try not to violate, even though you have violated, repair it right away, and tame your mind, and try to apply the antidote for the habit of the negative mind. Just as the earth's base for all that still and move. So on discipline, it's said, it's founded all that goods. So why do you need to, cherish that the, moral ethic? Because the moral ethic is the, base for all good qualities. This is why you have to, keep the vows unbroken, undegraded, uncorrupted.
Yes, sir.
Yeah.
What does Nagarjuna means by the discipline?
Discipline, yeah.
Yeah, what does it mean?
Discipline means it's watch your mind. Don't let the mind do things out of habit. So when you say negative things, when you do bad things, harmful things, it's you are not watching your mind. You are not controlling your mind. You just let go whatever you out of habit, whatever is doing, just let it do it. That is a very uncultured, untradition. So the culture, traditions can, remind you, you are not allowed to do this. You are not allowed to say these things. It is not right to harm others. So, that discipline is important. Discipline is the basis for all the good qualities, like earth is basis for all the trees, the fruits, the flowers. No discipline, no good qualities. So, discipline does not mean that you have after taking the moral ethics vows, that does not mean you are not going to break the laws. You will break the laws, and you repair it, you fix it, and you find the source. What is the condition? What kind of state of mind that allows this kind of negative things? And try to apply the antidote for the negative minds. So every day when you say homage to the Buddha, there's a subdue your mind thoroughly. This is the teaching of the Buddha. When you tame your mind, when you purify your mind, and that is the teaching of the Buddha. When the mind is pure, mind is awakened, and no negative deeds there. So that's why Buddha, subdue your mind thoroughly. This is the teaching of the Buddha. It's all about subduing the mind. So then there's this number 8, generosity and discipline, patience and diligence, and concentration, and the wisdom that knows thusness. Generosity is the practice of generosity. and discipline, yeah, and then patience and diligence and concentration and wisdom that knows the dustness, the emptiness. So now this is the main thing. Nagarjuna is saying, this is the practice, practice, six perfections, practice with the six perfections, So these are kind of, eventually become the path that lead to enlightenment. So Jimbala, I think generosity has many. Yeah? I don't remember the exact. Yeah. The giving advice is one of the generosity, and giving protections is the generosity. Protections of someone who's in the danger, you protect them. That is generosity. And giving even the water, 1 spoon of the rice, 1 tiny candy can be generosities, practice generosities. This can be perfection generosities. So is it whoever needed at the time? So sometimes there's the poison can be substance for the generosities. Like peacock, if you give the poisons, they grow their feathers. If the poisons give to the human being, that kills the human being. So it's generosity means just I think it's the kind of the what you give, and then there's many advice, knowledge, education, protections, substance, the drink, food, all these are, things that what you can give. So what is the generosity? Generosity is mainly referring to the sense of letting it go, the state of mind. It just, you just let go of, there is the intention to give. There is no holding back to yourself. Even the knowledge, what I mentioned, there's one great scholar during the previous Buddha, Wu Sun. There's a great scholars. He becomes so knowledgeable, but he has a stingy to sharing his knowledge because he always some kind of fear that if I share this knowledge to him, he will become equal to me. So he has this kind of mentalities. And that scholar, when he died and born in, a very poor family, the families that are very living in nearby the river, and they raised the pig. So one time he was, herding the pigs, and suddenly the flood comes, and that flood, destroy all the villages that carry him too, and he pushed on the side of the one of the shore, and he was happy to be there. There was no one, no people, no human being at all. So and then many days he just he find there's 1, 2, human beings in that mountain, and those are the solitary realizers. They don't talk, and he was very inspired by those great masters, and then he served them every day, but the master never teach them him. So he just imitate their meditations, and meditating on nothingness. The next life he born in formless jhanas. Then, when the Buddha Shakyamuni came to earth, he born came to earth. Then he was born as a human being. So he was very dull. He could not memorize one stanza for a whole day. But still, Buddhas, our compassions, to do the mobbing, the cleanings around the monasteries, and every time Buddha gave one sentence, this, then he gradually the seed that he planted in many lives before has started to sprouting, and he attained arhat within that life. So, the result of that stingy of his knowledge, he has born in many unfortunate conditions. So these are, even the knowledge you have to share. So disciplines, moral ethics, and patience, we call seva. So patience, I have mentioned that patience is, sometimes we say forbearance. Forbearance has, I think, two level of the forbearance. One, the forbearance is the pain is there with you, but you are accepting it. Discomfort, anything that is unpleasant happening, but you accept it. You do not react negatively, is forbearance. And another level of forbearance is, yes, there is the condition for unpleasant, there's a condition that makes you not happy, but you have successfully, control your mind, so not be in the state of unpleasant. You'll always be happy. Although there's the condition that could make you unhappy, but because you have trained, you always remaining happy. You don't let that condition to land on you. So that is one of the forbearance.
So it sounds like the first level is almost like you can't control the fact that you're experiencing it.
Yeah.
You accept it and kind of push through that karma.
You cannot control the conditions. The conditions already produce the result with you.
So you say
you are unhappy, but if I react, it will increase this unhappy.
Right.
So you just bear that pain or discomfort. So that is one of the forbearance. Mm-hmm. The second forbearance is you are happy. Mm-hmm. And there is the condition that could make many of people unhappy, but this is not, it doesn't really, affect on you. Right. So that is the forbearance. Mm-hmm. So, as I mentioned, what's kind of, when you win the, jackpot lottery, and someone slap on you, so you say, "Oh, it's okay," because I already have $1 million. So that is kind of forbearance, one of the forbearance. So those generosity, the discipline, patience, and diligence, I always mention. Diligence, diligence is usually, normally people interpret that as effort, hardworking, like that. And here is the diligence is, according to the text, the diligence is having interest and excited in positive things, listening, contemplating, reading, and all kind of positive things. Always interest in positive is diligence. Some people, they says, if the diligence is only in the hard working, and some people are very determined to do the negative things, continuously, and never stop. That is not diligence, because he has no interest in any positive things. So the concentration is, I think here, sometimes we say something, Tibetan something, and tingizin, so two things. Tingizin and something, and samadhis. So these are kind of like, if you interpret the concentration is not being distracted, focusing on the objects, things that are needed to be focused. If that is concentration, and thinking about true length and origination is concentration. Thinking of the law and the cause and effect is concentration. So another concentration is you single out one object and single pointedly and focusing or abiding with one single object is a single pointed concentration. So the meditation is not necessary to be single pointed. Right? Meditations, the purpose, the benefit of the most, I think the benefit of the meditation is to be aware of the disturbance and the distractions. Yeah. So then when you contemplate on 12 links and divine originations, you are not single-pointed meditating, but you are analytical meditations. Yeah, right. So the concentrations is not necessary to be single-pointed meditation. So the wisdom that knows thusness. So thusness is as it is emptiness. Wisdom knows emptiness, realization emptiness. Those measureless perfections. So measureless shelmet, almost the same, measureless and the perfections. So that makes them grow and be a mighty conqueror whose cross samsara, samsara sea. So those measureless perfections means measureless and the perfections, almost the same meaning. Measureless is infinite. There's no finite in the qualities, of the perfection of the generosity and the patience and the wisdoms. So the perfections means, so you have accomplished the state of mind that can, is infinitely kind of, the enhance the quality infinitely. You can enhance the quality infinite with generosity, patience, morality, the wisdom. So that is also the same, the perfection. So the perfection in Tibetan we call paradishima. Paradishima means gone beyond, beyond ordinary state, beyond the noble state. So, so there is same things as infinite. So they make them grow, so continuously grow them and become infinite and measurelessness, or perfected completely and totally. So you become the mighty conquerors who's crossed the samsara sea, who've gone beyond the shore of the samsara. Right? So now, so far, the Nagarjuna is trying to teach his friends, saying that 6 things is important: with the Dharma and Sangha, generosities, and recall each of the deities. And then moralities is important, right? And then practice of generosities. How do you really see the importance of the moralities? Is you have to see the defects of the stingies and miserliness. So by seeing them, and you can find the quality in the practice of generosity. And then what you do is you can expand it. The quality of that is measurelessly. And then you become the mighty conquerors. So I think mighty conqueror means the arhat is also pretty much conquer their mind. They eliminate all the negative emotions, even the seed of emotion. But still, he is not yet mighty conqueror, because the mighty conqueror is referring to the Buddha. And the Buddha who has not only eliminated the seed of negative emotion, even the same tiny habit seed, the stain of afflictive emotions. So now coming back again to the laypersons, then it says, if your aim is to attain higher rebirth, next life as a human, good condition, and human being, or the God being, and then says that is easy. Those who shows their parents the great respect, those are Brahma or the master who will be linked. Sangha Lebe Jeva Laos. So I think the Sangha is Brahman means, like form rounds and God rounds. Sangha is something that is above the human rounds. Human rounds. So you can be born simply by paying respect to their parents. Right. So then, by venerating them, they will win the repute. Within this life, you are respected, you are reliable, considered a reliable person. And in the futures, they will attain higher ranks. If you're born in a human being, you may be in good conditions, very, very stable conditions. So this is just now So respect the parents. I think this is maybe one of the qualities that looks like a human being. So animals they don't have respect as the parents. They they get everything from the parents, and when they grow bigger, they should fly, never come back. So the human being can do that. So now say this is the simply paying respect to the parents is the condition for to be born in the higher rebirth. And if you want to attain the better than the higher rebirth, if you want to seeking the liberation, arhat, at least you have to take the vows, the one day lay vows, and act like it, imitate like arhat. Maybe this week you do one time, and next week another time, or this 1 month you take 8 vows for one day, and next month another, 1 day vows. So then, what are those 8 vows that you take, and which is, act like arhat? So the eschew all. Eschew, right?
Eschew.
Eschew. It's almost like achew. Yes. So, which means we always eliminate, right? We throw it. The eschew all harms. Don't steal. Make love. I don't make love. It's kind of sexual misconduct. Sexually, and then lie. Abstain from drink, untimely greed for food, so eating in untime, so eat morning and lunch, and not eating night. So not eating night because untimely eating. So indulging in high bets, like high seats. So, and then abstain from singing too. Refrain from dancing and all adornment shun, like ornaments. So it is just one day. You take this vows just one day. And until tomorrow sunrise, taking vows in this one morning and until tomorrow sunrise. So when sunrise, you can do everything opposite. You start lying. You're sitting on a high bed.
Yeah.
All the ornaments. As before go to bed, you have to collect all the ornaments, put under the pillows. So it's kind of, and what you do is, what is the meaning of that is, for men and women who keep these 8 branches vows, and imitating the vows that Arhat took. So you just do the one day live like Arhat. So just living one day like an arhat. So their wish to, I think Tibetan is sojong. So nurture and clean will grant. So this is kind of like repairing and purifying. So what is the meaning of taking these vows? So repairing means anything that you have violated, and repair it, and purify the negativities, the result. So this will grant them, make them handsome body and the celestial gods as celestial gods. So if you take this vow, so the result of that is the immediate result, and long-term result. Immediate result is makes you looks good. Handsome body as celestial gods. So if you take one day, you will be handsome for one day. So if you 2 times, you're handsome for 2 times. So this is what he's saying, that we call lay vows. As a Mahayana Bodhisattvas, now you can take the same vows and plus you take Mahayana precept, Bodhisattva's vows. So it's not just Arhat. You act like one day, act like a Buddha. Right? So here the lay vows, it is not motivated by the bodhicitta. If you add the one bodhicitta precept, Mahayana precept, and you one day live like Buddha. So, and then says, by taking these vows, it repair, it fix many negative karma, and it will end many negative consequences. So yeah. So number 12.
Okay.
Yes.
So que say, you said for one day to practice like a arhat would be what those things that it is in that stanza. Plus, if we add that day the bodhisattva vows, that is would be to live a day like a Buddha.
Yes. So
Yeah,
you just live one day like a Buddha.
Okay.
So Elements now says that the benefit from taking these vows is to fix many negative karmas, repair them in the brokenness, and it purifies many negative consequences. That is the benefit. So number 12 is saying that stinginess, the cunning, greed, and sloth, and arrogance, attachment, and hate, and pride.
Yes, so doing this practice that we are talking, that helps also to subdue the mind, to tame the mind.
Yes.
Those practices.
Yes, yeah. It's a part of the subduing the mind, taming the mind. If you take that one day, it's pretty much 24 hours. It kind of it refreshes in your mind. So I need to kind of tame my mind so that you can see the one day peaceful. You see, or because of by taming the mind, the one day that much benefit. How much benefit, how much peaceful I can live for 1 month. Right. So now here, this number 12 is the vows are like a friend that gives you the benefit. And what is, what is that condition that act like enemy, always causing you problem? And stinginess, cunning, greed, and sloth. Sena yuju. The cunning is usually, English cunning is just one word.
Mhm.
I think there is two meaning in cunning. You know, so in Tibetan we use two syllables, and that both syllables, you know, the how's that indicates the two meaning, and we say yo 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 yo. So the cunning is hide your bad qualities and pretend that you have the opposite of that quality. You know, so you know, hiding your bad, you know, habit or bad deeds and pretend you have a better qualities. So the two things in the cunning. You know. So in the Vasubandhu's text, Vasubandhu says, this state of mind, the cunning, is by itself is not necessarily non-virtue. So Vasubandhu says, cunning is not necessary to be non-virtue. And then how? Because the Lord Brahma has the cunning state of mind. He has the cunning. So, and how do you know the Lord Brahma, the God Brahma, has the cunning mind? And then there's a story that one day Ananda, after listening to the Buddha's teaching, he was contemplating, and at the same time he was doing the circumambulations and the stupa. He was thinking, the Buddha says, and eventually the earth dissolved in the water, water dissolved in the heat, heat dissolved in wind, wind dissolved in space. And he was, how about the space dissolve? He was keep thinking about that, and he saw in the sky both the Brahmas there, Lord Brahmas, and he asked, Buddha says finally the earth dissolved in the water, water dissolved in the fire, fire dissolved in the wind, wind dissolved in the space. Where does space dissolve? And Lord Brahman says, so I'm a Brahma, I'm the father of every living things. That's his answer. Because he cannot say, I don't know. so he was hiding his ignorance. So therefore they say, Vasubandhu says, even the Brahma, Lord Brahma has the cunning mind. He can hide his ignorance. So yeah, I am the Brahma. Brahma is the great, and there's a Tamjigpa. I'm the father of all living things. This is what he answered. Because he has to say, because he cannot say, I don't know. And then Vasubandhu says, how do you know the Brahma has hide his ignorance? How do you know this is the cunning? And then story, right after that, story goes, the next time the Ananda was, going somewhere in maybe East, just doing something for the Buddha, and suddenly the Lord Brahma appears. Said, why did you ask me these questions? Why did you go direct to the Buddha? So, which means now it's more clear that the last time he asked, he could not say, I don't know. So he was kind of still, not feeling very good. He says, why do you ask me these questions? So the cunning is not necessary to be non-virtue. Yeah. So the Lord Brahma has this mind. Lord Brahma is free from non-virtue. So that is a cunning. And now here the Nagarjuna says stinginess and cunning is a very bad condition. And the greed and sloth. The greed is like a greedy, right? It's part of attachment. And the sloth is usually nyomle. Sloth is not sloth. What is the sloth? It's physically kind of
Sluggish,
moving,
not wanting
yeah.
to do things, like lazy, sort of.
Yeah, and that translates from Tibetan word nyomle. Nyomle is not necessarily to be physically being lazy. You know, nyomle is like, oh, I can do it tomorrow.
Yeah, that's.
I'll do it later, or something like that. You know, it constantly, procrastinating. So that is the nyomle. And then the arrogance and attachment, the hatred and the pride. And then the arrogance and attachment and hate. The pride. So what kind of pride? Yes, there's the pride that I have. It's like a high class. I belongs to the high family, rich family, you know. So that I have breeding and good looking. The pride on your good looking, pride of learning. I have this much learned. I'm the learned person. The pride of youth, pride of power. Such traits, such haughtiness, right, are seen as the enemy of the good. So this kind of state of mind will destroy the good qualities. So another word, another definition of the trait is haughty and satisfaction.
Yeah, I mean.
Some kind of characters.
Right.
So that kind of the character of, pride and good looking, character of, and the pride in the youth and power or high class. So these are, by definition, is the haughtiness. Kind of like now you don't want to improve further because I'm just here. I settled. Right. I am high classes now. I don't have any interest further. You don't want to move. You don't want to improve yourself. It stops the growth of yourself. So when you say, oh, I'm the learned persons, I know I'm the knowledgeable persons, which means kind of inside your mind that now you stop growing. I'm here, I'm not going, I don't want to move forward. So this, the state of mind is called haughty. And then this is also Vasubandhu's text in the explaining the secondary minds is the fatty mind. Very fat, and you can want to move. You're just full of yourself, kind of inflated yourself. So this inflating mind, inflating yourself, is the destroyer of the good qualities. So enemies of the good. Yeah, this is Nagarjuna's now kind of emphasizing what are good for you, what are the bad for you. So the carefulness is the way to deathlessness. So this, and while the carelessness is death, the Buddha taught, and thus so that your virtues, deeds may grow. Be careful constantly with respect. I think this I'm not sure how you understand from this English. The carefulness is the way to deathness. So I think this is the way of saying in Hindi and Tibetan. So, dusi, payo dusinetes, deathlessness. So I think dusi is sometimes English translation uses is the nectar, right? So sometimes in Sanskrit Sanskrit is amrita. Amrita is mirti is death. Opposite of the mirti is amrita. There's something that is what is the nectar? Actual. What does the nectar do is to keep you from death. So nectar is, by definitions, is kind of it not let you die. So then who use the nectar, who drinks the nectar? This is the God beings. So they are deathless because they constantly have, fortunate to have, experienced the nectar. So Amrita, right? So now here they're saying that in Dharma, and what is the nectar Amrita that can keep you from, in the bad conditions, in the lower realms. So that is the Dharma is the nectar. Dharma is the Amrita. Right. So then it says Dharma is keep you from death. And then opposite of the death is, non-Dharma is the death. The Dharma is deathless. And then Shantideva was mentioned that says, Shantideva was mentioned that, one who is being able to, individual who can improve themselves is the finding the nectars. Some could not improve themselves. How much you try, how much he tried, how much other tried, you cannot change them or tempt them to be good. So these people are only the death. This is. No matter what you do, right, good or bad, they will for sure is certain to lower realms and again and again fall in the lower realms. So I think the carefulness is the way to deathlessness. What is the careful? Always watchful to your mind. Watch your mind. Be careful how the mind act. Is when the anger is begin to rise, you say, "Oh, the anger is arising," So then think about the consequences of the anger, and then you subdue the anger. So that is the careful. Or you can say, you can keep your mind always in the peace and joy, and never let it kind of, never let it in the conditions of unhappy or unpleasant, because unpleasant and unhappy is the condition that generates the negative emotions. So the careful means always watchful to your mind is the way to deathlessness. So way to improve the growing yourself, continuously grow yourself. Why the carelessness is the death? the Buddha taught. So Buddha taught, and thus, so that virtues may grow, be careful, be careful constantly with respect. I think to improve yourself, to continuously grow yourself, in the positive way. So always be careful means always be watchful of your mind. 爬越道德爬的这个层次. And with respect means it's constantly, constantly, I think that respect is maybe it's not really the word here. Quiver means always be, how to say, like heedful, right? You said, be heedful. Always listen, and then try to listen from the Dharma, listen from the learned persons, listens from the any good advices, and always apply to yourself. So if it's a constant with respect means that. Because in the story, like the fiction story, the God is remain very, very long life because they drink nectars, right? And then in the actual conditions, there is no nectar to drink to be live long. So God is living longer because of their conditions of the body and their karma, to be born at that condition so they could live longer. So we, as a human being born as the human conditions, they will live lesser than the God being. Like a dog live lesser than a human being, right? And some of the ants live one day, right? Like flowers live one day. So its condition is not because what they drink. In the story, the fiction story, that says, oh, God has, the king of the god in his, what do you call it? The warehouse. There's the big container which has the, keep all the nectars. And then once a month or once a year, he shares the nectar to all the gods. Mm-hmm. But still many gods die. So it's kind of this, here the Dharma nectars, in the Dharma terms, the nectar is practice of the Dharma, is the nectar. The negative actions, negative thoughts, particularly harmful thoughts, are, the, how to say, is the poison. Yeah, so maybe I'll just read one line. So then, now the question is, Nagarjuna mentioned, so what are the vows that you can take, the benefit of that, and then what you need to be careful. What are the enemies that can destroy your good qualities? And what is the good qualities that you can keep to grow yourself? So always mindful, heedful is the good conditions, good cause that can improve yourself. So then if someone who has done very, very bad deeds and someone who has very strong negative emotions, can they be, change? Is Dharma can help them to change, to improve themselves, to grow themselves. And then the number 14 says, those who formerly were careless, but then took a hit, are beautiful and fair, as is the moon emerging from the cloud, like Nanda, Angulimala, Darshaka, Udayana. So these people mentioned, Nagarjuna says, if these people, Nanda has so much, lasting attachment, but he still, listened to the Buddha's teaching carefully, and he was able to, free from his bad habit. In Angulimala, the person who kills 999 person, still at the end, when he decided to be changed, then he was able to attain noble path within his life. So why not? Even the bad person can be, if they are mindful, and they can change. So Angulimala, when he met the Buddha, and he says, even I want to change, it is impossible for me because I did so much bad things. And the Buddha says, yes, how much, there's always, the day that ends the dark and night, but still at the end of the dark, there's the light, there's a morning, new day. You can change every day, anytime. So the Nanda, Angulimalas, Darshakas, Udayanas. So I think Darshak or Udayanas, one of them, he kind of happened to be, he conditioned to death his mother. And everybody, all his village, they abandoned him. And he was very, very remorse from that, what he has done. And he went to this, place, the new village, and he started building the monastery. And, and then all the monks gather and kind of started living in that monastery. His whole life he served to the monasteries. So within that life, he was able to attain, noble path. So you're almost impossible, but it is possible. Once you are determined, you decided to change, you can change. So we can change, but we did not kill 999, but we are, it's not easy for us to change. So Angulimala killed 999, but he successfully changed himself to the noble being. So we never kill even one person. Yeah, any questions? So to remind maybe as a summary, the 6 things to remember: Buddha, Dharma, and Sangha, generosities, and recall of the deities, and moralities. 6 things, and then practicing the 10 virtues. And understand the impermanence, and understand the nature of the pleasure in the pleasure from the positions, impermanence and essenceless. So constantly keep your mind, keep your vows, unbroken repair and tame your mind. So any questions? Easy to understand. Letter to friends, that's very easy. Chanju Simjo Rinpoche, Majebana, Geshuji, Gebanyamba, Mebanya, Kono Kondo Pebble. Tonya Tawa Rinpoche, Majebana, Geshuji, Gebanyamba, Mebanya, Kono Kondo Pebble. Pama Simjan Tamjan, Dedan Dejuji, Nilotam, Tato Ton. Chanju Simba Kana Sushu, Tadaguji, Monon Juju, Carrera Voko Vishing, Panda de Woman, no Juve, Jeresan, Tinzinja, Side Badu.
May the precious floating mind,
let it born and rise and grow. May the climb but increase forevermore. May the precious mind realize in happiness, let it born and rise and grow. May that born have no decline but increase forevermore. Who to all these merits may your father and mother send them beings have all them happiness. And may all the Lord realms be empty forever. Whoever there must have us, may all their pleasure.
you are the source of all benefits. O powerful Shiva's remain this world until samsara ends.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Thank you.